Hey, what's up, pro wrestling fans? Welcome to the Nation's Corner. I am Front Row, joined this week by Debhausen, the Great and Powerful. Deb, what's up?
What is happening? It is Royal Rumble Day. I am so excited. This is my favorite show of the year. So let's get it going.
Yep, same. It is always my favorite show of the year. Where's all our people? I thought we were supposed to have people on tonight.
I don't know. I guess they don't show up anymore. I don't know.
Let's see. Oh. What's this? Who's that coming to the ring? Mongrovian Mike, Tony Justice, and Ezra. What's up, people?
What's up?
What's up?
Proper Rumble
I'm a little winded from running to the ring.
Big one, Elizabeth. I'm coming.
Oh my god!
What's up, man? What's up?
What's happening?
Man, we are all excited. This is like something we look forward to all year because it's just, and with last few years we've had the Women's Rumble, we have all these exciting entrances and surprises through the whole show. There's only 4 matches advertised for the pay-per-view, 2 of them being the Rumble matches. So, man, I'm so excited.
Yeah,
it's an interesting pay-per-view. It's one of the big 4. If you still want to consider, the rankings of the pay-per-views now, the PLEs, whatever. But Royal Rumble has always been a highlight for me because you enjoy seeing who's going to come next, the countdown, everyone counting down with it, not knowing who's going to come out, and just the surprise. Like the thing that comes to my mind is when Edge returned. That moment right there is why I love the Royal Rumble.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm. I still watch that clip once in a while. I watched it not that long ago. It is one of my favorite moments in wrestling history.
Yeah, and Edge said that's one of his top moments in his career. And it's not something I think that was rumored or there was. I heard nothing about it, so it was as carefully guarded a secret as you can possibly get.
Well, it's got to be a top moment in your career when you thought your career was over for 9 years.
Right?
Yeah.
Think about all the stuff that he's accomplished. I mean, all the career highlights.
And you got to think the only type of physicality he had was SummerSlam the year before when he speared Elias in the middle of the ring. That was the first spear he had hit since his retirement. So,
yeah. And he took a concerto from Christian.
Yes, he did.
True,
but
not true physicality
he was not in ring action. So
right,
yeah. I still remember seeing the clip of when he was doing the, biking with Sheamus. It was that moment he realized he might be good because he fell and Sheamus was like, "Are you all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think so." Yeah.
Exactly. That's how he felt.
But I love a good debut too. I mean, it's been 8 years now since AJ debuted in the Rumble. I didn't know he was coming to WWE. It was a surprise to me, but I'm not that close to New Japan. But man, when he debuted, I was like, "Holy crap, this is so cool."
Yeah, there was some internal rumblings. There were some internal rumblings at the time about AJ coming because at the time Gallows and Anderson had just been let go. Shinsuke left. So it was a little bit of a mixed bag. But then when he showed up at the Rumble, it was an unbelievable sight because nobody thought that AJ would ever step foot into a WWE ring because he had been so loyal to TNA and to New Japan.
Right.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, here's one of the greatest pro wrestlers of our generation showing up in one of the biggest pay-per-views of the entire year. So it was what a moment it was, especially for a New Japan fan like myself and a TNA fan. So
yeah, I do remember that because if I remember right, I was watching with a bunch of friends at that time, and I was a WWE only fan at that time. I really wasn't aware of everything else. And a friend of mine, Corey, who knew a lot of other stuff. Like I remember him flipping the F out when AJ Styles came out and I didn't know who he was. And he was like, "Holy shit." And like, "Oh, I guess he's somebody."
But Deb, to your point, like we always talk about when people are making debuts, or so and so is coming to WWE or AEW, and like, will anybody know who they are? It depends on the crowd. Like last night on SmackDown, we saw Trick show up, and they all knew who he was. Whoop that Trick! They were doing the whole thing, and this is primarily a WWE, common crowd, and they knew who he was. And only about a quarter of the people watch NXT that do SmackDown. So the internet's a powerful thing. So Ezra, we were talking the other night about whether people would know an Okada or Julia or any of these rumored people floating around out there. Do you think that's changed?
Yeah, I think it has, because I think the wrestling audience, especially WWE audiences, have become a lot more widespread. They're not just there are the casual fans that only watch the WWE product and know only the superstars that they've seen on TV. However, the large majority of the audience, and we've seen this over the past 5, 6, 7 years, they've been really open to other companies like New Japan, like Ring of Honor, like AEW. We've seen big names come in. Even a guy like Shinsuke Nakamura, who debuted at NXT TakeOver Dallas back in 2016, he got a massive reaction on when he came out. It was one of the highlights of that weekend. It blew WrestleMania out of the water. But I think with an Okada, I think he is such an established name, and especially a wide no name. He shows up, he's going to get a pretty loud pop. Obviously, not everybody's going to know, who the Rainmaker is, but that's people will know ahead of time. And we talked about this in our group chat before about how if you don't build Okada here, you would build it with a series of events to build him up who he is. But I think if he were to come out tonight, I think it would be a huge reaction, because Royal Rumble fans a lot of them are international, and they know who the Rainmaker is, especially in that type of environment.
Yeah, and Ashley said that too in the chat, that her brother said that she was surprised that people knew who Trick was. And it's true, like these big 4 pay-per-views have such a traveling audience. They're smarter fans, they're more knowledgeable fans about wrestling outside of the WWE bubble. So there are those people that could show up and get a reaction that wouldn't get a reaction in Omaha or wherever.
Well,
but go Mike.
That goes to WWE. Have been for the past couple of years, I'd say, they have been sprinkling in NXT talent and introducing them to the WWE universe, and also the NXT is pretty popular and has a pretty good audience on Tuesday nights, and that's how they know Trick when he came out. Sometimes someone comes out and you go, who is this? But they pretty much know everybody that's been introduced so far. Like they knew the Creeds, they knew Ivy Nile. It's just like crazy.
Well, if there's any bigger, if there's any bigger indication about the NXT involvement, the fact that they had Ava Raine, the new general manager of NXT, on screen with Nick Aldis doing the picks from the Tumblr last night on SmackDown, I mean, that pretty much tells you how much faith they have in the brand, and probably how much involvement from a participant standpoint we're going to see. And we're going to talk about our picks and stuff in a minute. But there's some stories they've done such a wonderful job of telling stories going into the Rumble, where there's little stories contained within the match. And I think that's my favorite part, is those stories that are told within the body of the match individually, and new stuff. So I wanted to get from you guys, like, what are a couple of moments that you were like, oh, I didn't know I wanted to see that, or now these people who never faced off got to face off, or even something that's a continuation of a story? Like, what are those Rumble moments that you like?
Tony, go ahead first.
Sure, put me on the spot.
I got a few.
That's a tough one, because
do you want me to start, Tony?
That's why I didn't want to go first.
Okay,
please.
So one of my absolute favorite moments was, and it was completely unexpected, was Brock and Keith Lee facing off.
Yes.
That wasn't the thing that I knew that I wanted to see. And Brock's reaction to him put him over for a split second, and they didn't really have anything after that. Keith Lee eventually ended up going to AEW, but I loved everything that Brock did in that match. The stuff that he did with Drew. There was like 3 or 4 stories that Brock told within the body of that match that were like, oh, this guy really does know what he's doing. Like, he's a good storyteller.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so those are the moments for me.
Shelton Benjamin in that sequence too, when he came out.
Acknowledged, yes.
Yeah, when he came out and he acknowledged him as like his buddy and all that, then he destroyed him and threw him over the top rope within 5 seconds. But...
Right.
Well, with me,
okay,
there's
so
many. Go ahead, Tony.
No, I've got a moment. We heard him on the show this morning. Logan Paul and Ricochet, when they had that moment, was it last year, where Logan Paul, they springboarded off each and just met in the middle. They had that moment, you know, and I don't think at the time they had. I think that's what spearheaded the story with them, because they had a story afterwards on Raw. That's what got them into a storyline, was that moment there at the Royal Rumble. So that's an example of something happening at the Rumble that they actually go for and use that for a storyline to tell more stories, which is what you're supposed to do. So yeah, that's my moment.
Yeah. One of my personal favorites, I think, and it was only just for that moment, but for that moment in the Rumble is something I thought I would never see, and that was when Goldberg entered the Rumble. He had just eliminated Brock, and then all of a sudden, gong, and you had The Undertaker and Goldberg face off for the first time ever. And that, to me, as a fan of both guys growing up, it was something unreal and never to be seen again, because, you know, Goldberg was the mothership of WCW, while The Undertaker was the top guy in WWE, one of the top guys. And you never thought they would cross paths. And then when Goldberg was on that tear through WWE in that time frame, we got to see the two face off. Even if it was just for a few minutes, it was something that it's a history-making moment that you never thought you'd see again. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that really sticks out for me. What I'm excited for coming up in this Rumble is, one of the things is I'm wondering with Damage Control after last night on SmackDown winning the tag team titles, the Kabuki Warriors, where does it continue forward with Bayley? That's a really good question. And I know we're gonna probably that's the one thing I'm looking forward to, is that story continuing through the Rumble tonight. And the question is, will we see a turn? Will we see maybe some more dissension in the ranks? That's what I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, so, and that's, Deb, I want to ask you, because we watched SmackDown last night and they had that vignette with Bayley, and it was a really babyface story of her telling her injury, and it was very not in keeping with the character that we've seen over the last 2 years. Is that her character trying to be a martyr, or do you think she's actually going down that road?
Because it's Bayley, I almost think it's a swerve. In some sort of way, just because I feel like, you know, we may have come to expect swerves from Bayley. I'm kind of hoping she like swerves and brings back the ding dong hello. I'm hoping for that. But yeah, I do think, you know, we've been seeing this kind of build where there's dissent within Damage Control, and it seems like they're, you know, getting ready to give Bayley the boot. So yeah, the question is then, is Bayley gonna be that baby face, feel sorry for me, or is she gonna turn heel? I really think she's gonna turn heel, but I think, like, I'm really interested to see like what those little stories are. Like, I remember, I think I mentioned that like last week or the week before, about the little inner stories within the Rumble. Since there's so many people in the ring, you sometimes see these little moments between one or two people that will be either a continuation of something, like a callback to something that happened in the past, or the start of something new. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I don't really have like a favorite moment from the past as far as that goes. But I think it's good that this year, more than most years that I can remember, there are so many kind of inner stories that are happening within. There's so many things that we could look forward to, you know, people facing off, all that kind of stuff. I'm super excited.
Yeah, and Tony, you mentioned last week on the show, like the fact that there are so many open slots, the fact that they've not announced so many people gives you so much more excitement. Yeah, we expect there's going to be more main roster people that are already on the show, but it's more opportunity for surprises.
Yeah.
Even if you only have 3 surprises or 4 surprises, you have 10 open slots or 20 open slots, whatever it is that anticipation for every participant or entrant. So Deb, to your point, Bailey right now is the only advertised member of Damage Control for the match, right? So we don't know what's going on. Now, obviously, Kabuki Warriors are the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Io Sky is currently the women's champion. So that leaves Dakota, right? And Kyrie, not Kyrie, Dakota, the only one not holding gold outside of Bailey. Yeah. So I'm going to be interested to see how that whole story plays out. But so let's dive in a little bit to some of the participants. Actually, before we do that, I just want to mention, and this is something that's interesting to me, the rumored being like people we want to see, from the outside coming into the Rumble tie into multiple stories, right? There's, and we'll talk about some of those things, but like if a Julia shows up, well, she fits right in with Damage Control. She has stories, she has history with those people. If like Okada comes in, he has history with multiple people. Like all these different people, that names that are swirling, pretty much almost all of them have some history or story with the people in WWE. So there's a lot of interesting things there.
Yeah.
But that main event match, or not the main event match, but the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship match with Roman, Randy, AJ, and LA Knight. Yeah. As cool as that is, it's kind of like dessert for me in this pay-per-view because I'm not looking forward to that match as much as I am the other ones. How do you guys feel about? Have they done a good job building interest in this match?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mike, yeah, match. I'm looking forward to that one. But but it's the Rumble. I'm looking forward to the Rumble matches the most out of the night. Yeah. So any other matches are just to round out the night. That's all.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it as well. I mean, you look at the Rumble match, both of them, the women's and the men's. You look at those as the main entree. And you're looking at all the matches they've announced just like as garnishes, Even though you've got the world title, it's up for grabs in a fatal 4-way. You don't really want to consider that a garnish, but you know what I'm saying? Like the Royal Rumble is the meat and potatoes of this whole night.
Yeah, obviously it's while it seems like it almost gets lost in the shuffle because of the Royal Rumble matches. It's not, because it's a feature contest they've done so well building up to this point. With the different configurations, with AJ attacking LA Knight and then Randy Orton getting involved, and then Nick Aldis turned into a 4-way. The whole story behind this and how it's built to this point has been masterful. And all credit to Nick Aldis, credit to Paul Heyman, credit to everybody back there who's helping build this story layer by layer, inch by inch to this point. And even like I said, even with the 2 main Royal Rumble matches we got tonight, which are the focal points of this whole event, I think this Universal title match is going to do what it does. It's going to stand out with 4 of the best competitors that WWE has to offer.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that match is going to be intense. I think it's probably going to like emotionally wipe out a lot of people, just because I think we've seen those matches before where there's so many highs and lows, and you kind of get blown up by the end of it, even just as a fan watching. I think it's going to be one of those, even though obviously, like you said, it's not the main attraction of this show, the Rumble matches. Yeah. I do think that the US Championship, that's probably going to be, even though it is a championship match, I think that's going to be more so kind of I don't want to say filler, but like, you know what I mean? Kind of maybe the cool down match. with only 4 matches on the card, it's going to be hard to keep that intensity for that long.
Yeah, my guess from a match placement perspective, my guess is they'd open with the women's rumble, the U.S. title, the men's rumble, and then the main event, because those are the only 4
That's
matches.
what I would say.
Average, yeah. And I do think that making it a fatal 4-way gave more intrigue and put a bigger question mark on the outcome, but not much of a bigger. Like, I don't think anybody really thinks that Roman's going to lose.
No.
Now, if he loses tonight, they have an opportunity to throw everything in the blender and make every smart fan realize they don't know what they're doing. Like the stories, right? Because that would throw everything into chaos. Like Dave's head would explode, everything would go like it would be insane. I don't think they're going to do it, but boy, it would be a shock.
It's going to be like Scanners all over again.
Yes. I do think if that does happen and it is a shock, I unfortunately think that there's a massive section of fans that can't handle being surprised these days. That anytime something does happen that we weren't seeing coming, people just tend to like shit on it. So I don't know. Maybe
I love a good surprise if it makes sense.
I know, I love it. That's why even with the Rumble, like I don't spend a lot of time reading into like, people saying, oh, I think this person is going to show up or this person is, hinting at this. I try not to stay away from all that because I don't want to potentially spoil myself in making it too predictable.
Okay, wait a minute, Deb.
Yeah.
Ashley's saying she wants to be spoiled. I don't know.
Okay,
No.
I don't get you. I don't get you.
No.
Okay.
The whole point of the Rumble is
You
to have
wait
30
for Christmas.
60 surprises.
Yeah. You
Okay,
wait for Christmas morning to
She's
open him
great.
gifts.
I joke. I kid.
Okay, good.
No spoilers.
We almost had to have a conversation.
I know.
You will wait till Christmas morning to open those presents. You will wait.
Live intervention on the Nation's Corner.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Chad. In the chat.
Here we go. Oop.
Yeah, we got
Nope,
2
wrong
Chads
one.
in the chat.
Oh,
We got
yes.
Chadwick in the
I
chat.
can't hit 2 chats. Can we
Oh,
hit the
Chad's
2
there?
chats?
Well,
Yeah.
we'll do our best.
Anyway.
Okay, so just real quick, I wanted to give a shout out to Tommy and Sam and Denise for their coverage over the last couple of days. Busted Open was super fun. They were on location. They had a ton of superstars, some really good interviews. I especially liked the interview with Gunther. That was really good. The AJ Styles was good. Maxine Dupree. Check out both shows if you haven't. Even if it's after the Rumble, go back and listen to those interviews because they're really fun.
Yeah.
Even though Sam did try to bury Dave pretty much at every commercial break, but
Yeah.
Oh well. And you know
It
what? Yes, Dave is on the Jericho cruise and Bully is as well. And I think it is absolutely hilarious over the past couple weeks how many times I've seen people post in the Busted Open Facebook group asking if Dave and the boys are doing a Rumble party in Tampa. Like, have you not been paying attention? He's on the cruise. This cruise was booked like a year and a half ago.
Okay, and I got to take an L on this one too. One of the people that I've been hoping to see in the Rumble, we've been talking about privately and on the show last week, was Matt Cardona, and he's on the cruise. Like, he's not going to be. I'm like, I realized that
He was my
yesterday. I'm
pick.
like, oh my.
Same here.
He was my pick,
They
and
have
I'm like,
helicopters. They have helicopters.
Well, they are right off the coast of Florida, so anything's possible.
Right, yeah.
But it seems like an awfully expensive thing to do. But
right.
who knows?
He's
Who's
the
to
easy
say?
guy.
I
He can
think
afford
the
it.
God worth it.
It's a maybe.
He's worth it for me, but it's not my money.
Ashley thinks he's going to go overboard.
Swim back. On our last cruise, we saw someone go overboard. It was not.
Oh,
It took a
God.
while to get that guy. Yeah, he tried to commit suicide. and they
Holy
picked him out of the
shit.
water.
Wow.
Yep.
Figured he'd go out
Yep.
of style.
I've told that story on here. Probably not told
Wow.
it. It's not a fun story. The guy's fine, but
Yeah.
he jumped overboard, and they circled back and picked him up, and then put him in a cell on the ship until they got him on land, and the police came and picked him up.
He should have gone free buffet. Maybe he would have stayed in there then. He
And it was on the second day of the cruise. It was literally on the second day.
You're
Oh
on
my
a damn
God.
cruise. You want to enjoy. You're on a vacation, and then you got some guy that wants to go out in style. Get out of here.
With style.
Yeah.
Go in your basement like everybody else does.
It's falling with style.
The funny thing is this was on our transatlantic, so we had just left Spain, and we were out at sea, and it happened. We didn't know it happened. Our son Cameron and his boyfriend Hunter, they saw it on TikTok before we saw it. We were on the ship, so they sent us the TikTok. Yeah, they saw it on TikTok. Somebody on the ship had filmed it and put it on TikTok.
Oh my God.
Hey,
That's
this shows you the
horrible.
mentality of people these days. So some guy's trying to off himself. So this
And you're gonna
asshole
film
on,
it
on
and put it
the
on
ship is
TikTok.
already posting a video on TikTok. Hey, look at this guy. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It really is. You're
Yeah,
right.
Hunter was like, "Is this on your ship?" I'm like, how did you find out about this before we did? Like, we're here. We're on the ship. Anyway,
Oh my
back
God.
to Rumble talk.
If the meteor, the big giant meteor is heading towards Earth, 99% of the schmucks out there are going to be holding up their cell phones friggin' and filming it for TikTok.
Yeah.
Jeez.
For the likes, the tweets.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Gotta go out with some likes, right?
Yeah.
All right,
Those
so
afterlife
let's
likes
go
are
back.
really good.
Reel us in, man.
All right. So, real quick, I'm just going to run down the list of people that, as of a couple hours ago, for the men's, the advertised participants: Cody, Punk, Shinsuke, Lashley, Drew, Gunther, Chad Gable, Otis, Akira Tozawa, Kofi Kingston, Damian Priest, Santos Escobar, R-Truth, Carlito, Grayson Waller, Austin Theory, and Jimmy Uso. For the women rather, we have Bayley, Nia Jax, Becky, Bianca, Maxine Dupree, Ivy Nile, Alba Fire, Shotzi, Zelina Vega, and Michin. So not a ton of people. There's still a whole bunch of opportunities here. So
Yeah.
I like that.
We're gonna talk about who our picks are to win the Rumble, but I wanted to go around the room and get some. Who do you want to see? Who do you want to see make an appearance? So I want to give me each one, and then we'll go around a little bit. So Ezra, give me one name and why they should be in. Male or female, doesn't matter.
Well, for me, since they've been working since WWE has been more open about working with outside companies, especially with All Japan and different stuff like that. Personally, for me, I would love to see you in the Rumble because, personally, I would love to see you in the Rumble. Of course, I said Matt Cardona. Of course, that pick's now out the window. Thank you for ruining that for me. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with JTG.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, JTG. He's really elevated himself as a singles performer since the unfortunately timely passing of Shad. So and he's really made a name for himself in the Indies and really has built himself an equity and all that stuff on the independent circuit, appearing on New Japan Strong a few times. Battled Fred Rosser before, and I think he'll be a great surprise name to be in the Rumble this year.
Yeah, I mean, we saw JTG in the NWA at some of the tapings we attended, and he was in ridiculous shape. And I had never seen him wrestle live before that, and I was like, "Holy crap, is he good?" And yeah, so that's a good pick. Tony?
Okay, we're doing the men first. Well, Chris said it in the chat. I'm thinking Big E's gonna return tonight.
Yeah, he's on my list as well. Big E, who's been out with an injury for quite a long time, well over a year and change, after that bad fall with a match with Ridge Holland.
Yep.
And but we've seen him doing a lot more stuff lately.
A Big E return would add to the Ridge Holland storyline too.
And I wonder if that's why they're telling that story now.
It could be because he's being rejected. So this is a side thing. Not to do with the Rumble. I do want to see him be the surprise of the Rumble. That's who I was going to say. But I see him, helping the redemption of Ridge Holland. So
Okay.
That's what I see. But for women, I want to see our very own Maddie Rinkowski, Ren Sinclair, or whatever.
It would be very early for her. She's only been there like a week, but it would be interesting. They gave her a ton of spotlight this week.
Hey, she came.
Yeah.
She was the second to last thrown. She was the last one thrown out for the Rumble like kind of match they had on NXT a couple of weeks ago.
It could be just a surprise entrant, not obviously not a call up.
Yeah, Naomi.
Just a surprise entrant.
Yeah.
I'm so hoping for Big E. You guys know how much I adore the New Day, and I really, really miss Big E. I definitely think we're seeing Jade Cargill tonight.
Yeah, she's on my list too.
Yeah, I definitely think, I think she's going to make a splash. I think she's going to be one of those that come in and like eliminate like 9 people in a row. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to put this up. Chad was saying Hulk Hogan, and so I don't know if you saw, they posted a 3-minute video, which is the video package for the Royal Rumble tonight. WWE put it on their socials earlier today. It's narrated by Hulk. It's all about the Rumble. I don't think they put him in front of a live crowd based on the last several times they tried to do that, and it didn't go well. I think he's too old. He's not going to have a Rumble appearance that would be good. I don't think with that crowd it would go over well.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. There's a lot of good guesses here in the chat. I'm just trying to catch up. Obviously, Naomi, we talked about, Trinity, Jade, Sasha. There's a lot of good names in there, but one of the people that I would like to see come back and do something in the Rumble and specifically work with another performer, I would like to see John Cena come back tonight and start the story that I want to see at WrestleMania, which is John Cena versus Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. That's a match that I want to see. That's a title that Cena's never held. And I think it would be a really interesting matchup, and it would elevate Gunther even more. So I think they could do something interesting there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that I hadn't really thought about that. Do we think we see Rock at all tonight?
I think he's too big for the Rumble. What do you guys think?
Well, I'm not a Rumble entrant.
I've
he's
seen people
definitely too big to be in the Rumble.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's definitely too big to be in the Rumble. I think it would be weird since he hasn't, had a match in quite some time. It'd be kind of weird for him just to be an entrant in the Rumble. But do we see him make an appearance at all?
I mean, they're in Florida. He lives there.
Yeah.
They could give him gas money. It's no problem. You get a voucher.
I say yeah.
For me,
I say yes. I say
yeah. So so it would make more sense for him to make an appearance during the Bloodline match. So during Roman stuff, it wouldn't make any sense for him to be in the Rumble because he's not going to challenge for a title.
Yeah, and it wouldn't make any sense with the story that they're starting to go with.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I know somebody in the chat mentioned Okada coming tonight, but but I don't think it's going to happen because Okada has more matches built for scheduled as of right now with New Japan, including his final match on February 11th with Hiroshi Tanahashi, which will be his final match in New Japan before he officially comes stateside and does more work here. As far as women, I do agree with Jade Cargill. Another name I saw in the chat that I really like, Naomi, Trinity. Because I think she just finished up with Impact this past week.
Yep.
After she had the rematch with Jordan Grace for the TNA Knockouts title.
So I want to go back to what you said about Okada because I've seen a lot of stuff about this. There's been a lot of examples where New Japan, All Japan, people are being allowed to do other things prior to their contracts ending, right?
Yeah.
We saw it in AEW, we haven't really seen it in WWE, but we're only talking about a couple of weeks. I think it would be possible for them to work. If this wasn't the Hunter, the Triple H era, I wouldn't think it was possible. But I think if anybody can make something happen, it would be him, where they work a deal for him, for Okada to appear in the Rumble and then finish up his commitments and then eventually come to WWE. Because you make an appearance in the Rumble and then you send him back home. And then you start to tell that story of why he's coming. And you can do those vignettes. Don't throw him right on TV right now. Have him have a Rumble appearance. That crowd will know who he is. And then you build him as a star that's coming to WWE.
And I'm going to give in one more name before we move on to the topic. Is a guy who I thought had more matches on his New Japan coming up, but I've checked the schedule, and that's not the case. And that is the one of the founders of the Bullet Club itself, the bad boy Tama Tonga.
Yeah, he's on my list as well.
Yeah.
Ooh. I just want to say, so Chad said in the chat about Jade, about, they pumped the brakes on her. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that it was because her mom died. If I remember right, her mom or someone very close to her passed away.
That was part of it, but they didn't pump the brakes on her. This was always the plan. The plan was to announce her and then put her in the PC and have her quietly train away from TV until she's ready to debut. That's my understanding, is that's always been the plan.
Yeah.
I don't know if Rumble is the goal or if Mania is the goal or if they're just going to wait until she's ready. But the videos, we talked about this last week and the week before, the videos that we've seen of her training with Natty and the people in the PC, she's gotten like worlds better. And we've only seen snippets. So do I think she could get in there? And let me ask you guys, do you think she could get in there in a Rumble situation where the expectation isn't super high for you to do this classic 20-minute one-on-one match? Like you could have a good appearance without having to be super technically sound.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's definitely a good opportunity. They can plan something with a face off between her and someone else that, maybe she's been working with at the PC, plan something that will make her look good and make her look strong. And then, then we build up to her first singles match.
And then it'll be whoever if she comes in the Rumble, whoever she has a big beef with in there will be her, will probably be her first fight, but that'd be great if she's in there, because you're right. It's not like she has to do all these topes and this and that and all of these grapple moves. It's like go in there and just forearm, punch, fist, clothesline, throw your ass over the rope.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to give a shout out. Chad mentioned we have a new subscriber, Jay Minor. Jay, thanks for joining us tonight, man. And Chad, of course, Chad as always. Okay. But we appreciate you watching tonight. Hope you enjoy the Rumble. If he's a wrestling fan, I don't know. Seems like it. Yeah. From the chat.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
If
thanks
not,
for joining.
still enjoy the Rumble.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy the Rumble.
There is a female out there that I didn't mention because I thought we were just doing men right now, but a surprise for the women would be AJ Lee, in my opinion.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I've heard a lot of rumblings about her. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, would it be amazing to see AJ back in the Rumble again?
Yeah.
Would be cool. Yeah. That would be really cool. And
For
she would
sure.
actually be a real surprise for the women instead of like the same, kind of like it's very thin, slim pickings out there. But you know what? Now you hear how TNA is doing good with WWE. It looks like there's a lot of knockouts there that might be able to come over.
Yeah,
there was one knockout who held the belt that came over.
Yes, I was just about to say.
Who knows? Maybe another knockout that has a belt can come over here. Maybe we could see Jordan Grace come through the ring and.
Ooh,
that would be insane. That would be so cool.
Yes. What do you think the odds are that we see Mickie James show up?
Yeah, I think that makes more sense because she's a former WWE superstar, and I think she's going into the Hall of Fame in the next year or two, especially if she's fully transitioning over into her executive role with OVW. And she said she's not done in the ring, but she could still go in the Hall of Fame. They've done it before.
Oh yeah.
Ash is saying ODB. I don't think I don't know
That
if she'd
would
be
be
good
cool.
for TV. ODB's great. I love her. She is a riot.
Are you saying
Now,
she's not PG?
ODB, the woman's
That's all I'm
wrestler,
saying.
or the meat lady, or do you mean
Yeah.
ODB from Wu-Tang?
No, I don't think ODB's with us anymore.
Dead.
Yeah.
Hey, he's little baby Jesus.
Yeah.
Dirt dog.
Okay, so there's a couple more names that I wanted to float by you guys. We haven't seen her in a while. I think she was out with injuries. Liv Morgan can make a return.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, we've already mentioned like Sasha Banks, but there's so much rumor swirling around where she's going. Is she in conversations? People are reporting stuff as if they're factual, which drives me crazy. Nobody really knows except for the people having the actual conversations with the talent, right? Or, friends and family, but typically they don't talk, especially when it comes to contractual negotiations.
Right.
I'd love to see her back in WWE if it makes sense. Wherever she goes that makes her happy. I think she's a better fit. Her star power is a better fit in WWE than anywhere else. But whatever, if she's just out there doing stuff because she wants to, then good for her. But, $5 billion for Raw tells me that the money's at one place right now.
Yeah.
The big money.
Yeah.
What about your boy Hammerstone? He's a free agent.
Hammerstone. Sorry. Shout out to Gary.
Shout out to Gary.
Calm down, Front Row.
Tequila
Calm down.
Gary. Tequila Gary loves meat mountain.
Lay off the Duncan, my friend.
Mountain.
You know what? You know what? There's a name out there. I don't know if he's healthy enough, physically ready, and I don't know where his contract status lands.
Microman.
But oh no! Yes. All right, Elmer, you're in the corner now.
I was so big.
For me, I doubt he's going to be in the Rumble. I highly doubt it. But
you see him
he's better than you.
Eliminate the biggest.
He's better than you, and he's better than you, and you know it. I'm talking, of course, about MJF.
Yeah, I think we're being swerved because I don't think Tony Khan is stupid enough to not have this guy locked up.
Yeah,
he's not. He's not dumb. He's not. I don't care what people want to have opinions about the guy.
He might be crazy, but he ain't stupid.
He's a crazy fan, but he's not stupid. He's not a stupid man. Let's get that out of the way.
It's everybody in the room right now.
MJF locked up.
There's a lot of great guesses in the. There's a lot of great guesses in the chat.
That MJF re-signed a little while ago.
Yeah, me too. I did want to give a shout out. Nerd of Music and Film says Al Snow, and Al's in great shape. He's doing amazing things with OVW. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him as a surprise entrant.
He had his first match back on the Wrestlers, remember? So
yeah, that'd be fun
for sure. That'd be fun.
He's doing that Iron Sheik stuff, man, with the
oh my god,
Virgin clubs and everything.
Yeah. We saw him at the ECW arena at one of the Battleground shows. Was that last year? And it
probably
was, my god, he looks great.
Oh, Seth made it.
Oh yeah, Seth says what about Enzo?
Yeah, what about the Smack Talker Skywalker?
I would love
Enzo's
that.
been making
but only
a
if he's back.
splash in the indies. If you pay attention to his socials, he posts a lot of promo videos that are always hilarious.
Yes.
How about this? Enzo gets announced in. He comes down and he's just doing 2 minutes of his shit talking down the ramp.
And then he does the Jericho thing and runs around the ring screaming, and then just leaves.
He gets in the ring and gets Santino'd. Yeah. Then he gets back out and starts talking shit, going all the way back up, and then the guy that comes out after him beats the shit out of him up on the ramp.
So Seth mentions Carmella in the chat. what are
She'll be back in shape.
I don't remember how long it's been since Carmella and Alexa Bliss had their babies, but do you think either
Take
one
a
of
pinky
them
in that brat's mouth
already?
and get back in the ring.
Sure.
Sorry.
Calm
I don't
down
know.
over there,
Like,
Elder.
they're different situations, right? We don't know, but
At
when
least
they
I
come
didn't-
back, it'll be exciting. Yeah, RA says Ty Dillinger too. I know.
Yes.
Sean Spears is currently without a contract, from what we understand, from what he said.
I believe
That'd
so,
be a
yeah.
cool one, and he's a name that people would recognize. Sheamus could make a return as well.
Yep.
He may be
Sheamus.
due back.
Ooh, yes.
If
And
Alsto,
so-
if Alsto comes out,
Ty Dillinger comes back. Do you think they keep him with the Sean Spears name, right? He's not on
No.
Okada level, like
no.
No, he's
He's
he gets
going
his
back to
old
Ty
name back.
Dillinger.
The difference is that
He-
Triple H now will let them keep their new characters. Like, he'll be the Sean Spears character, but with a Ty Dillinger name. Like, he won't revert back
Right.
because they've built too much equity. When you have a star like him that did so much in other companies, like, you're paying for all that equity. You're paying for all the work that they did. So that would be my guess. They would change the name, keep the character.
that was
Yeah.
such a good story when he came in and just cracked Cody's skull open, man.
So the chairman was born, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh,
got
and
a
what do you
name I
think
want
about Tommy? Tommy's in town. He could just be a surprise entrant.
Dude,
Yeah.
Tommy's conversation with Ivy Nile was hysterical. He was
It was
booking
pretty
her
good.
to the moon. And he's like, that's it. I'm coming to the Rumble. I'm gonna go
To
in
the
there. So good.
If Alsto has to be there, the next entrant better be Steve Blackman.
He hasn't even been seen.
No.
So speaking of to the moon, what about Cameron Grimes? Nobody talks about him. People
He's
need
not
to
really
start talking
doing
about
much on
Cameron Grimes
NXT.
more.
Yeah.
Oh,
They,
Yeah, but still,
he was on
We always-
SmackDown. He
I
got
know,
called up,
but
and then
people
they
don't
wasn't doing
talk
anything.
about him.
I know. Yeah,
He's
I don't know. What do you guys
I'm
think?
I'm just thinking of Steven's writing on the thing. If Man in the Box hits, he'll pop. But obviously, WWE won't hear that. We'll hear Paul's music. We'll hear boop a doop 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 boop a doop 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 doop.
Oh my God.
All right, here's a name. Here's a name of somebody that's rumored to be headed to WWE, and I'm excited for her. I don't know that she's a big enough name to get a Royal Rumble pop, but I want to see her in our WWE ring sooner rather than later, and that's Camille.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Listen, I think just with her stature, like remember when she showed up to at AEW and they just
With
showed
Layla
her,
Hirsch.
like her just
Mhm.
there, she's big. If she comes in the ring and stands toe to toe with Bianca or anyone, Jade,
Yeah.
anyone that's like,
Ooh,
she's right
if
up
we
there
get
with
Jade
them.
and Camille standoff.
Wouldn't that be perfect?
Charlotte.
Yep. And it could all start out in NXT. And there you go.
Yeah.
There's the problem solved. Okay, they're not good.
Okay, Chris.
they're not-
Chris is asking who. Camille is the former NWA Women's World Champion. She's the longest reigning, or she has the longest reign for that title. In
She
the
was
modern
trained by
era.
Bully.
Yep, and
Yes.
she was there from the beginning of the Lightning One era as Nick Aldis's insurance policy, and then she went on to do her own singles thing. And
Yep.
Yeah.
Tony and I
Oh.
were in the room when she won her NWA title.
Yeah, and Chris, little known
Yeah,
fact,
wasn't she the
likes
champion
cherries
for
on her
like
pizza.
a year and a half?
800 and something days.
Yeah, little known fact,
Yeah.
she likes cherries
So
on her
it's
pizza,
like
Chris.
2 years. 2.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was trained by Bully. She had the match against Kylan King at NWA that Bully was there
They did the
on
street fight.
commentary for. Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Oh my God, great match. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Camille's really come a long way. She's if you don't know who she is, Google her because she's going to be a somebody someday. She's going to be a
Yes.
big deal. And she's
I
super
agree,
nice.
Nerd and
Yeah,
I
Music.
like her.
I agree. Gigi Dolan, we'd like to see her up there too.
Oh yeah. That's
I
a good one.
I
Jason
definitely think
James,
she's
Gigi
ready.
Dolan.
Yeah.
I mean, you
What
got
about
30
Fallon
people
Henley?
in there, and they don't even have 10
Yep,
people.
Fallon
In there,
Henley,
so we
definitely.
got a lot of surprises to come.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
My God, there's so much stuff.
Broad
This
Breaker.
is-
I
Yeah,
think so.
sure. So I saw. We know that Chase used sort of defunct now. They had financial issues, right? Is Andre Chase getting called up? Do you think he's going to be in the Rumble?
I think so.
I'd like
I
that.
think it's a possibility for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've seen the Harlem bravado on the indie scene before,
Mhm.
and he's great. It's
Okay. The last one I want to mention. I don't know if anybody mentioned. Maybe somebody did. If you did, I apologize. Andrade. Does he
No, we didn't
return?
mention him.
Yes. Yeah. Someone did mention him in the chat before.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
But
Big
yes,
return, though.
yeah. Oh my God. I definitely want to see him come back.
John
Yeah.
Baez.
Oh, I got John's in there. I see Neil.
Neil.
Welcome,
By
Neil.
the way, Neil.
Neil.
Condolences to our nation's own Too Sweet Neil. His dear aunt passed away a few days ago, and today was a funeral. So tip one up for his aunt and give some positive thoughts to our boy Neil. Here's to you, brother. Hang in there.
Yep. Well
Hugs
said.
to your mother. Hugs to your mother.
Word to your mother.
Was that vanilla?
Anywho.
Anywho.
I'm the
Right,
one that
folks.
goes off the rails. I say something sovereign, then you say you get all goofy. I'm supposed to be the one that gets stupid here.
Someone
I don't
has
know what
to.
to tell you.
Yes.
I don't know. All right, we got 5 minutes to the pre-show. Why don't we wrap this sucker up? Let everybody go get their snacks and drinks and whatnot. Look, what are you guys eating tonight?
Oh, did we give our final
I don't know.
picks?
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to do
We
final
give our-
picks? All right. Oh,
yeah, we
man,
didn't
we're
do our
running out of
final
time.
picks.
All right, let's go around the room.
Fine.
Deb, give me men's and women's Rumble picks.
I'm going to say Bailey and Cody.
Nice.
Win, Cody, win. Win, Cody, win. Win, Cody, win. Okay,
Tony?
done.
Women's, I'm calling Becky Lynch winning it and calling out Rhea for WrestleMania. And for the men's, I'm calling for Cody.
Okay. Man,
Winning.
2 for Cody. How about Ez?
I mean, for the women's, I gotta go with Bailey, and then for the men, obviously the guy whose shirt I'm wearing, Mr. CM Punk.
Nice.
And I think Cody is gonna end up in the Elimination Chamber and get his spot there, where it continues the story of the long, hard-fought road to finish the story.
Interesting. How about you, Mike?
All right. I also forgot to say I want Dustin Rhodes would be a nice surprise entrant too.
Oh.
I'm gonna say Cody Rhodes for the men's, and I'm gonna say Bailey for the women's because I really want that story to go. I think Bailey should win the women's, and they're all the rest of Damage Control is gonna think, oh, she's gonna choose this. No, she's gonna go after EO because EO's pissed her off, maybe, Oh,
Mhm.
We'll see.
or it could go. What's her name? Dakota Kai is all well, comes in and eliminates Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
There you go.
Mm.
Something like that. But something's gonna go down with Damage Control. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm 100% on board. Something's going down there.
I'm more into that. I'm more into that.
For the women's, I'm going Jade Cargill. I know it's a reach, but I think that they have big plans for her, and pretty much all the other big names in the match have other stories. They have other stuff going on.
Mhm.
So I don't think that anybody in the match is hurt by losing to Jade, because Jade is physically imposing, and they've already told the crowd what a big deal she is. So I hope that goes that way. I want to pick Cody. I got my Nightmare Family jacket here. But I'm with Ezra. I'm going CM Punk.
All right.
Okay.
okay.
But a lot of good conversation in the chat tonight. I appreciate everybody
Oh,
joining on this Rumble weekend. Deb, where can people find you?
Yep.
I'm at That's So Debonair on the Twitter machine and on Instagram. And I am very much looking forward to having Lil Wieners wrapped up in a croissant
Of course you are.
Pigs in a blanket.
with some burgers from Wegmans. So
No.
I don't want to hear what Little Wiener's going to do.
Chad's not in the room when you talk about it.
oh, I just had to. Sorry.
Hey, what if Howard Dean's a surprise entrant tonight in the Royal Rumble?
Stop.
Horrible. Horrible.
Oh God.
Oh,
Children.
All right, it's going off the rails.
All right, Tony.
okay. You can find me at Tony Justice AJFA on Twitter and Instagram. And if you're a Metallica fan, like I know all of us are, you know what that means. Ooh. Oh, and I failed to mention, Cody Rhodes is going to be the number 1 entrant into the Rumble tonight. Just saying.
Okay. All right.
I
Ezra,
got
where
to
can
pee. I'm
everybody
at
find you?
Mongrovian Mike. Later.
What did he do? What happened?
He had to go. He had to go, man. He had to go.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I said number 1, and he's got to go. Wow.
I just want to know where we could find him on socials, not in the house.
He said I'm
Just in the
Mongrovian Mike.
bathroom,
Bye.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Okay. Ezra.
Ezra.
Oh, this show's gone off more rails than my own show. But you can find me at Deadman469 across all my socials. Don't forget to follow our Nation's Sports Show, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, the sister show to the Nation's Corner on Tuesdays. We talk all things sports-related topics, so find us there with me, our buddy Stephen Wyan, Kevin Rory, and Joey Thornton. And, of course, follow my cosplay group at 2 Sweet Cosplay, and our first event will be C2E2 weekend coming up April 26th through 29th, or April 26th through 28th at McCormick Place in Chicago, Illinois. So that's it.
Awesome. And I am
Cool.
PW Front Row on all the socials. Make sure you follow us at Nation's Corner on X, Twitter, and The Nation's Corner everywhere else. Like, subscribe, tell all your friends. We're on the drive for 500 subscribers. We're going to get there sooner rather than later. Y'all have a good time watching the Rumble. We'll talk to you next week. Later.
Yeah.